So, after reviewing this information, you may be thinking that graduate school is not for you, or that you don't want to do graduate school now, but maybe in the future, or that you don't think you're competitive enough to get into a PhD or other advanced program. So, what should you do instead? The good news is that you don't have to go to graduate school right after you complete your bachelor's degree, and you definitely should not go to graduate school unless you are certain it is the path for you. You can take comfort in that taking time off from school and pursuing other options may actually clarify your career path, and ultimately, that path may or may not include graduate studies. And some programs are more interested in accepting students with a master's or who are completing a master's, as they generally have more training and have had a taste of grad school already. So if you're considering a PhD, you may want to try for a master's first. For example, most of the PhDs in public health require masters or it's highly recommended, which is a nice way of saying it makes you a lot more competitive. Some programs are also requiring full-time experience before applying. I've seen this more in master's and public health applications. So if you're thinking specifically about applying to an applied or professional degree, having real-world experience may make you a better candidate for those graduate programs. This is to say, it's good to know what you may be possibly interested in for graduate school and take time to fulfill those requirements, and then you can decide along the way if graduate school or a PhD is really what you want to do. But you may be unsure of what career path you want to pursue. If this is the case, or even if you have an idea of what you want to do, I recommend you reach out to career support services on campus. I work a lot with anthropology undergraduates, and many of them think that their anthropology degree won't get them a job, and they think they need to go to graduate school. But that's not true. There are many places that would love to have a college graduate regardless of their degree. Now, can you be a full-fledged anthropologist with a bachelor's degree? No, not really. You need to go pursue graduate studies, but this is true for a lot of degrees. It can be overwhelming trying to figure out what path you should pursue, but I encourage you to figure out a path that you can pursue. That is, figure out what sounds somewhat interesting to you and take steps towards that. It's not going to be the end-all be-all, meaning that if you end up not liking it, you can always change course and change careers. In fact, the average person in the US changes careers 5 times throughout their work life. So think of it as picking your first career. The Career Advising Office has expert advisors and programming that your tuition dollars help support. They are there to help you, but you have to take the first steps. You should not only check out their website, but you should absolutely set up an appointment with a career advisor. They can help you with narrowing down career options, point you in the direction of internships, which may include their database of opportunities, or they can let you know when and how to prepare for internship and job fairs. They can also help you with your cover letter and resume and how to prep for professional interviews. All these things can be uncomfortable for you to discuss and scary to think about, but if you want to land a great job, it is well worth putting yourself out there and getting professional help rather than assuming you can wing it. Why leave it to chance when you can help direct your own future? In addition to pursuing a full-time job while you decide if you want to go to graduate school, there are other options to consider. Once you graduate, you can see if your professors will allow you to continue to work on research projects with them, or you can work in an area you're interested in researching. For example, say you think you might be interested in working with immigrants in health settings. Working at a community health clinic or a non-for-profit that serve the immigrant community would be a great idea. Some students complete a service program such as the Peace Corps, Teach for America, AmeriCorps, and other volunteer organizations. Becoming a Fulbright Scholar is also a sought-out option where chosen individuals live in other countries to conduct research or teach. You could look up Fulbright opportunities for students to see what opportunities there are, but keep in mind these are all competitive, you just can't sign up for them. You also could do language training either by taking classes, using programs like Duolingo or Rosetta Stone, or consider doing a language immersion program abroad. You can also look into programs that teach English abroad, as this is not only a way to live and work abroad, but you can also learn a second language that way. Some students take a gap year to travel, and more recently, there are websites where people can work in the exchange for room and board as they travel across the world. But of course, be careful when researching and selecting these options. You can also ask your professors if there are research projects, field schools, and internships that may be suitable for you. Or if you think you want to be a more competitive applicant once you apply for graduate school, you can look into taking non-degree classes or undergraduate classes that may be required for the path you're considering pursuing. Once you graduate with your bachelor's, you are no longer a student, but most universities have what they call non-degree option. That is, you can sign up to take 1 or 2 classes without officially signing up to pursue a degree. For example, I knew I wanted to pursue a master's degree, but I only had 1 strong letter of recommendation from my undergraduate degree. And I had already been denied to 1 master's program, so I wanted to be sure to get into the other one I chose. So I decided to take 2 graduate classes in the program as a non-degree seeking student. I had to email the professor assigned to the class to get permission to enroll, but that was fairly easy because there was plenty of space in the class. While in those classes, I did the best work I could. I attended every class and participated in discussions, and I got to know the faculty well and asked them about applying to the graduate program. I also got a taste of what it was like to be a graduate student and had a better understanding of what would be expected of me. Once I was accepted into the program, I was able to apply those 2 courses toward the degree. But each program is going to have rules about how many non-degree classes you can bring in, and typically it's between 2 and 3 classes. You can also take non-degree undergraduate classes if you need to. Say you have a degree in one subject but want to pursue a master's degree in another. The program may have core undergraduate courses you have to take before applying, so you can do that as a non-degree student also. It is important to realize that there is no financial aid available to cover non-degree classes, so you will have to pay for them out of pocket, and that there is no guarantee that you will get into the graduate program if you take these classes. So you'd have to weigh the costs and benefits before deciding to go this route. I'll say this one last time. Don't go to graduate school unless you have a clear idea of your career path and that will help you reach that specific goal. Reach out for help if you are unsure what that path is, and ask as many people as you can to get ideas, and then look to professional career support at the university to help you. And finally, don't get so hung up on picking the perfect job. Just find a path that gives you a little spark of excitement or interest and see where it takes you. I promise you'll start to build your skill set, meet new people, and get new ideas and experiences, and new pathways will open for you. And who knows, they may or may not lead toward graduate school, and that's okay.